Hello everybody, welcome back to the Pokemon Through the Years Let's Play series thingy. I've been setting up this recording for like 45 minutes because my camera did not want to work, but let's go over the team real quickly. Not a lot changed, everybody's level 25 now, which is a little bit on the low side for the upcoming gym, but I think first we are going to go do some Team Magma and Team Aqua stuff potentially. So I didn't want to go to the gym level because this is one of the parts in the entirety of like the Pokemon series up to like Gen 5 where I don't exactly know what you're supposed to do step by step. So this will be interesting to find out. Mary is now a Fluffy at level 25, which I gave the Shockwave TM because it's better than the Thunder Shock that I learned by level up, and it has guaranteed accuracy, it's 50% more powerful, it's just generally a better move. Then we've got Casper, which didn't change. Precious got like a level. Blaze got a level. James got a level. And Null didn't even get used, I don't think, in grinding. So that is the current state of affairs. And obviously we did take out a couple of trainers here by accident. Let's see how many Pokeballs we have. We've got 17 normal Pokeballs. I think we can buy Great Balls, so let me go do that before we get started in today's episode. Am I going to cut ahead? Well, seeing as how I've run into this cast from like 5 times during the grinding, going back and forth between the Pokemon Center and the patch of grass up there. It's just a castful. I'm so happy that we didn't get one when we were trying to get our capture for that route, because it's just a cast form. Nobody gives a shit about cast form. Okay, so now going back up. Why am I buying Great Balls, you might be asking? Because we're going to be able to catch at least one new Pokemon today. Potentially quite a lot more, in fact. At least one in the... I think it's called the Jagged Pass. But I think maybe we can't go up there yet because Team Magma. But in here we can... This is the Jagged Pass, right? The Fiery Path. Why did I think Jagged Pass? I don't know, but we're going to get a... Not a Jigglypuff, because we already have one of you. I'm so used to using the speed button now because of grinding, which I just did today. Don't use the speed button for literally everything. Only if there's something very annoying and tedious. So I'm not going to be able to get anything here because it's only Jigglypuff, because usually there's more than one Pokemon. That's disappointing. I'll be straight up with you. That is disappointing. We're going to catch it. We're going to catch it. Well, that's disappointing. Nobody likes Natu. Xatu is a thing, I suppose. Nobody really cares about the Natu line, do they? Really, I would have liked to see a Mega Xatu. I think Xatu is one of those Pokemon that really could use a Mega Evolution to make it more relevant. Because it's kind of not relevant. I don't know what tier Xatu is in, competitively speaking. One thing that always... I don't know why. I do not know why. That is just something that always stands out to me with Natu. But Natu is an anagram of tuna. I don't know how my brain works. Did we already... Is this the same round we were on before? I think it may be. Luckily, we don't have to do a double battle here, and still the graphical glitches are not fixed. They're probably not going to be fixed at all, because we're already quite a way through this generation. Actually, 3 gyms out of 8. There's quite a lot left to do, so there's plenty of time. Actually, Natu is the perfect counter to fighting types, which... My team isn't. Why would I go for Thunder Shock? I literally just explained why Thunder Shockwave Shockwave is in every single way a better version of that move. It's got less PP, I think, but who cares about PP? Unless you're going to be stalling out a Pokemon, or in a place like maybe Medicham is an issue. Not really, actually. Maybe a place like Victory Road, one of the very long caves, PP starts to matter. Or if you are very, very low on PP, like Fire Blast and Blizzard and Thunder only having 5 PP, then it matters. But anything like 15 or up, usually doesn't matter. If you get down to like 5 PP for a move, even competitively, that becomes not a lot. But competitively, you always assume that every move has a PP max applied to it anyway, which I think gives you 5 extra PP? Or 3. Something like that. I don't exactly know what the maximum amount of like PP increase is. I'm saying PP quite a lot. If I had monetization enabled on my channel, I'd be demonetized right now because of all the PP talk. I somehow managed to avoid that, and is that a different route? Wait a second, can I was gonna say, can I go into the desert from here? I think this might be a different route from the one we were on before. I guess we'll be able to see through the encounters. If it's a Dragonite or a Pidgeot, we'll know. Okay, it's a Dragonite. It's definitely the same route, just a different part of it. I can't escape. No. Please let me go. Shockwave. At least we're both paralyzed, which is something. I'm dealing so much more damage to... Okay, maybe don't... Actually, speed doesn't matter because I can't switch out anyway. Okay, that was not very... God damn it! Okay, so we're going to have to go to... I think it's Fall Arbor Town. From there, go to... Meteor Falls? I think that's the next thing we're supposed to do. Go to Meteor Falls first, right? Or are we supposed to... I don't know where we're supposed to go. I'm sure that we're supposed to go to Flannery's gym after defeating Team Magma on Mount Chimney. That much I can pretty much guarantee. But how do we get there? Because the path we're taking right now leads to Meteor Falls, where I think we take on some Team Aqua people, which is fine, I guess, but I don't see where that gets us. Does that then unblock the path up to Mount Chimney once we've done that? That must be it. That's the only option I can see. So we do Team Aqua, then we do Team Magma, then we do the gym. So that's probably going to be the 3 next episodes. This episode Team Aqua, hopefully, maybe not even. Next episode Team Magma, and then the 4th gym. Can you please go ahead and die? Thank you. I don't like you, Eevee. I mean, I like you because I've got one of you in the box. I think I... Did I revert my Pokemon back to an Eevee, or is it still like a Flareon? I think I got a Flareon. I got one of the evolutions, I know that much, because I couldn't catch the Aspian because of Species Clause. Which way? Why do I send out a Fire type against a goddamn Fire type? I'm an actual idiot. I meant to send out Precious if that wasn't obvious, by the way. It probably wasn't, because I didn't. And I should have. Definitely should have. At least that's just a Torchic that can't really do anything against me either. And Blaze really does need to evolve ASAP, because I do need that flying type on my team. Not desperately, but I kind of need that flying type on my team. And there's only 2 things on my team that need to evolve anymore, and one of them is Mary, which does not actually get a new typing when it evolves. So I think we should be good. Team-wise. The only thing that I could really use still is a Psychic type, maybe. But anything that the Psychic type does, I've got a separate counter for. There's only certain time combinations might be a bit of an issue. Please don't kill Mary. I spent like half an hour trying to grind Mary to level 25. If it dies now, I'm going to be a little bit upset with you. Fucking hate that. Precious. And we've got Rock Throw. Okay, so now we've got all the introductory shit out of the way, and we're deep into the episode. It's complaining time. If I weren't so lazy, I'd like make a little bumper here, complaining time, because that could be a thing. That could honestly be a thing. That could honestly be a thing I just do. And every time I complain, just throw that bumper in before I start ranting. Which means that it'll probably end up being used like 3 or 4 times an episode. Because I just mostly, well, especially these Pokemon videos, are Let me focus on healing Mary before I go into her rounds. And paralysis heal. I didn't know I had one, but I'm very glad that I do. I've got 7 potions. That should be quite enough for now. Okay, so we're still living in a world where the coronavirus demonetized. The coronavirus is really being an issue. We all need to stay 6 feet apart and all that stuff. You know the rules and what we need to do to keep the death toll to a minimum, right? The only thing that annoys me about that is that I try to, when I see somebody, this is a new route, I can catch the first Pokemon that is new, do not forget that. When I see somebody walking towards me, I move out of the way a little bit, to the left or to the right, depending on where there's room, and I do go out of my way, literally, physically, not to be too close to other people. Which gets a little bit difficult when you're at a grocery store, obviously, because there's a lot of people going all over the place, all on their own path and their own trajectory, and you're going to a Gardevoir. Okay. That is something worth considering. Certainly something worth considering. Oh. Okay. That's upsetting. Anyway, so this field would have been nice as well. So even at the grocery store, I go out of my way to like stop walking, to let people pass on the path. English, be difficult. And like I even go into like the different sections of the grocery store I don't need to be, just like walking in places other people aren't to get to where I need to be, rather than just taking the shortest route. I go out of my fucking way to stay the fuck away from people. And I see lots of people also doing that. And honestly, anything like between the ages of 20 and 55, most of those people are really good about it. Anybody under the age of 20, not anybody, but a lot of people under the age of 20 do not seem to follow those rules very well. I'm assuming mostly because they think it doesn't affect me that much, and to a certain extent, I guess they are right. Statistically speaking, it doesn't affect them as much, but it's still a little bit of an asshole way of going about doing things. But whoever said teenagers were nice people? Nobody. If you're a teenager, I'm not talking about you, I'm just talking about everybody else you hate. Right? Okay. So that doesn't even bother me that much. I mean, it bothers me, but, you know, teenagers are going to be teenagers. Puberty is a bitch. People think they know people. Well, they are people. They think they know better, and they just fucking ignore rules like that. Which, that's fine, I guess. I mean, you're literally killing people, but that's fine, I guess, right? So, the thing that does bother me is the other group of people that seem to ignore the social distancing rules are largely old people. Which is kind of like the group we are doing the whole social distancing for. Obviously, it's not like only old people can die from this. Lots of younger, more healthy people are also dying and or suffering in a multitude of different ways. But the chance of, like, if you're 70 plus, the chance of you getting better from the coronavirus are not fairly low, but I wouldn't take the risk if I were that age. Let me say that. So, that group ignoring, like, warnings and rules and all that kind of stuff, that is what bothers me, because, and now going to the anecdote I'm building towards this entire time, I was at the grocery store like 2 days ago, and I've had an experience like this a couple of weeks ago as well. But this was much worse, because a couple of weeks ago, I was standing in a line to check out and like just do my thing, and somebody that was like between the ages of 65 and 75, I'd say, walked up and put his stuff behind mine on the conveyor belt, and he just got kind of close to me. I was like, okay, that's annoying, especially with the whole coronavirus thing going on. it's more your problem than it is my problem. Then again, if this is how you deal, you'll probably have it and you're gonna give it to me, which I've been sick quite a lot over the past like couple of weeks, which I've talked about to a irritating extent in these videos. So maybe he did. Anyway, but you're standing in line at a grocery store, so you're gonna get a little bit closer to each other, right? Things like that will happen. This time though, it was a different dude, but you know those revolver doors, right? A lot of stores have them because reasons. And I got into one of the segments. It was a 3-segment revolver door. And I got into one of the segments, and as I started walking very slowly, because those doors don't go very quickly, I noticed somebody else was in the same third as me, which is highly not okay. And then I looked over my shoulder and I saw it was somebody with thin grey hair. And once again, just like last time, I got a real inclination to cough. Just to scare the living shit out of him. I didn't, because again, even if there's just like a small chance that I do have the virus circulating in my system, and maybe just I'm not experiencing much in the way of symptoms, maybe I've had it and it's still not quite out of my system, I don't want to like forcefully put that into the air and make him inhale it, even though he fucking deserves it. Because that way, I'm kind of like potentially killing a dude. Even though it's a bit of a stupid dude, and honestly a little bit of a rude dude, let's not take that risk, right? So even though I'm upset, upset! That's upsetting, that's more upsetting. That's way more upsetting. Also, I'm very red, I notice. I don't know what that is about. I don't have an ice type. I do not have an ice type. That could be an issue. I don't know what requires a hat at level 18. So that was complaining time with Vlogger. Let's focus on the fight at hand here. Okay, Ancient Power. That could be... it's not that big of a deal, actually. This is going to be neutral, at least. I probably should switch out into Precious because he's got Rock Throw. Then again, another Nightshade and Shockwave combination will take it out. Even better, another Shockwave will take it out, and then I can Nightshade to my neck trick. Okay, so we've got the Rayquaza under control. That's very good. We're going to have to go back to the Pokemon Center after this immediately, though, because it's been a while since we ran into a Legendary, isn't it? What's the last Legendary I ran into? I mean, I ran into a Regice while grinding. One of the trainers had a Regice, but that wasn't really an issue either. But the last Legendary we ran into on screen might have been... Didn't like Roxanne have a Regirock? Something like that? That might have been the last on-screen Legendary we've had up until now. Which honestly, we were due for one, if that's the case. Definitely due for another Legendary. And we're lucky that it was a fairly easy one. Mostly because it was a low level. I am very much aware. Okay. Ivysaur, you know what? We can just pound and Nightshade you, and that probably will be enough. Maybe, just maybe, the fact that it was a double battle, I didn't even notice it was a double battle until this very moment. I was just doing this on autopilot. But the fact that it was a double battle might have actually helped me defeat Rayquaza a little bit easier than I usually would have, rather than them killing me quicker, which is usually what ends up happening with these double battles. Cotton Spore, you know what? I don't really give a shit about Cotton Spore, so I'll just not learn it. And we need to go back to the Pokemon Center. I guess I'll cut a hat because I'm annoyed. I won't cut a hat. Never mind. There's not even worth cutting out those 2 steps. I should have realized that I'm also walking by Slowking. I could have one of you one day, or something stuck in my teeth as well. Yeah, don't try it with something that's paralyzed to sleep. I don't know what it is though. I did have... No, I didn't actually have something that could get stuck in my teeth for dinner. Well, technically anything can get stuck in your teeth, but you know, some kind of like some meats are a lot more stringy, and sometimes like a little bit of the string or the fibers get stuck between two teeth, and some foods are way more likely to get stuck in your teeth than others. And what I had for dinner today actually wasn't that bad for getting stuck in your teeth. What I had yesterday could have gotten stuck in my teeth a lot easier, but that can't be it because it's been a day first and foremost. And in that day, you do things like brush your fucking teeth. And somehow Acreus still outspeeds me even though I am literally 9 levels higher. How fast is Acreus? That makes no sense. I mean, Mary may be not one of the faster electric types. But still, I'm really annoyed about that thing being stuck between the teeth. Okay, so let's go ahead and hopefully not run into any more trainers while I run back to the Pokemon Center. I might not actually like have to run back to the Pokemon Center, to be honest, because I think anything that's gonna happen. Did we run into a wild Pokemon here before? I don't think we did. I don't think we did. I don't think we did. I'll check in the edit. If we did. If we didn't, we're getting a Vibrava, which means that we're getting a Flygon, which definitely means that Null is getting... or Precious. But we kind of need Precious to deal with flying types. But we don't need Precious to deal with flying types because we got Mary. I think we're booting Precious off the team if we're getting that Vibrava. Because that would be great. But for right now, let's see. I guess Null is the best option to deal a little bit of damage here because everybody else is either going to be too powerful or too weak against Vibrava, which I don't know what Vibrava's moveset is going to be at level 17. Probably nothing fantastic, and it's probably going to be a couple of episodes before we actually add it to the team, because it's definitely not going to be this episode, right? It might not get added to the team at all, because I might have actually run into a Pokemon here and not realized it, in which case that is our capture for this route gone. But I think this is the first wild Pokemon we run into in this route, so in that case, definitely we're gonna have a Vibrava. Interesting. A very small amount of you will realize what this nickname means. It might be such a small amount that nobody realizes what that nickname means. I'm still unsure whether or not that was our first encounter on that route, because I can't believe that we've gone through that entire patch of grass, potentially twice, without encountering any Pokemon at all. But must be. Also, apparently I didn't cut between... I mean, I cut a little bit while thinking of a nickname, but I didn't cut while going back because so many things happened. Well, to be fair, I did go this route like 3 times. You motherfucker. You motherfucker. You had to do it, didn't you? You had to. If I run into a Relegator before, I would have noticed, I feel. So, I think Vibrava is definitely, I mean, Chomp is definitely gonna be part of the team. And there we go with the Swampert. Let's switch out. Mary is definitely now the highest level on the team, by the way, which is gonna be a good thing because obviously... Oh! I said only Mary and Blaze need to evolve, but obviously James still needs to evolve as well. When does James evolve? I don't know when James evolves. It's gotta be around level 30 as well. My money is on level 32. 32. That's a final answer. Let's look this up. Because I've got a phone here to look that shit up, right? So, Gagnia evolution. 30. It's 30 fucking 2! I was right, holy fuck! I did not expect to be actually right there. Now the question is, did I guess correctly, or did somewhere in the back of my mind did I know it was 32 and just instinctively I said 32 because I knew it, but I didn't know it, if that makes any sense. Does it make any sense? It probably doesn't make any sense, but hey, if you're here for me making sense, you're probably not here anymore, because we're quite like a couple of videos in. Like, this is episode 53, 52 of this particular series, and this is like 7 years into the channel. So if you're still waiting for me to make sense, I'm going to have to disappoint you. That's never gonna happen. It just isn't. And honestly, if you hadn't figured that out by yourself by now, potentially you're new here, in which case, I'm very sorry to burst your bubble. I won't make any sense to anybody, because I'm actually insane. If you've been here for a while and still waiting for me to make sense, the only thing I can come to as a conclusion is that you're even more insane than I am. Which is quite an accomplishment. Okay, so now I think we didn't even have to fight anybody here. Now I think we can go to Mount Chimney and defeat Team Magma. But first we're not going to catch a Rhyhorn, because we already have one of you. But first we're going to catch a... Today please, not a Rhyhorn, because we already have one of you. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna fish. It's gonna be a legendary Pokemon at level 5. I can just feel it. I can just feel it. The old rod is just gonna get a Pokemon up, which I do not want and I do not care about. I pressed the A button way too quickly there. Okay. Our encounter for Meteor Falls is going to... I'm so screwed. That is amazing. That is amazing. I don't know how I'm going to damage you. Oh my god. We're going to have to change the team up a little bit. Scrap the idea of getting Chomp on the team. If we can get this Rayquaza, which... Doubtful. I'm doubtful, I'll be honest with you. But if we can get a Rayquaza, definitely we're getting a Rayquaza on the team. Because we faced one, and then we got one. Which sounds very obvious. But we faced a trainer with a Rayquaza. Now we're facing a wild Rayquaza. I am so glad that we already have a Rhyhorn, so that we could dupes close our way into encountering a goddamn Rayquaza. But you're level 6. Does level 6 Pokemon have more than 26 HP? I don't know. This might seem a little bit cheap, but I'm gonna look up Rayquaza's base stats. Because I don't want to lose this opportunity. It really is a cheap thing to do, I am aware. I don't even know if that's going to give me the answer I want. Because I still probably can't figure out its exact HP. But based on its base HP, I can probably find out at least something. I don't know where it is on Bulbapedia though. I don't know where it is on Cerebi. The stats. It's probably... there we go. Base stats. HP is 105 base at level 50. It doesn't say at level 5. Okay, so at level 50 that is at the very least with like minimal IVs and no EVs. That is 165 at level 50. That's not that high. It's not that bad either, don't get me wrong. 100 base stat on anything is at least decent. So, he might be able to take it. And it's probably the only thing I have. No, I have Leech Seed. I have Leech Seed. Which is a gamble, but it's less of a gamble. It's less of a gamble. I have Leech Seed. Do I still have Leech Seed? Did I get rid of Leech? I did not get rid of Leech Seed. I am so glad that I did not get rid of Leech Seed. So now we just try to like waste a turn or two. He probably can take an Absorb because it's only quad effective against him. So even though I'm 20 levels higher, he is a legendary Pokemon. It's quad double resisted. A fourth effective, however you like to call it. Yeah, you can take that fairly well actually. So let's do that for a couple of turns. I probably can. Let's not do it one more time. Let's throw a Great Ball, and yeah, you're going to be an issue. You're going to be a real issue, especially since you're going to die soon. Okay, so we're not getting a Rayquaza. More than likely, he's going to die now. Last chance. You know what? I'm going to do the A/B method just because if it works, it'd be of course, it doesn't work. I was going to say, if it works, it'd be funny. But we're not getting a Rayquaza. Too bad. He's getting put in the thumbnail for fucking sure, though. He's definitely getting put in the thumbnail. And we're definitely ending this episode right now. So, thank you so much for watching this episode of Pokemon Through the Years. I gotta calm down from all that, because that was quite something. I'm going to check right now, after recording this, when I start to edit, if Vibrava is allowed to be on the team. Probably not going to record a second episode right away, because that was... That Rayquaza fight took more out of me than I'm willing to admit, honestly. And let's keep outside here for the outro screen. I'll see you all back next time. Bye.